Good afternoon to all. Today, I continue to talk about a subject that should be on everybody's thoughts, especially in my country, Portugal. Replanting of native trees. This is the subject. Reforestation is the natural intentional restocking of existing forests or woodlands that have been depleted, usually through the deforestation. Portugal's losses have been due to the removal of forests to build tourist and industrial projects, to build new infrastructures such as motorways and dams, and due to the devastating forest fires that have consumed several 100,000 hectares of forests each recent decade. Wow. Replanting of new trees can be used to rectify or improve the quality of human life by soaking up pollution and dust from the air, etc. But many of us define culture in terms of arts, films, theatres, performance, and museums. So-called eye culture. There is no doubt that a visit to a museum can tell you a lot about how various societies developed. But long before we built the stage or made the film, our customs and social behavior were driven by imperatives far removed from getting dressed up and traveling to see a show. Well, that's it, my friends. For me, a key way of understanding the nature of community is the visit to a countryside. Agriculture can tell us a lot about the people, what they grow, cook, and eat. But the remnants of old crops, trees in particular, in the structure of the landscape, reveal much more of how ancient societies lived. In my opinion, the Portuguese government forest reform programs currently under public consultation does not address the year-on-year reduction of Portugal's forest areas and does little to protect ancient primary forests. Primary forests now occupy just 1% of Portugal's forest area. The destruction of centuries of old oak trees for firewood or to make way for mushroom cultivations or the expansion of crops has continued despite legalization from different environmental organizations that have already asked the government to create legislation, especially for the protection of oak forests in Portugal. Popular for ornamental and medicinal reasons, eucalyptus were introduced in Portugal in the late 18th century. By the 19th century, believe this, there were almost no native woodlands left in Portugal. And in 1866, some 35,000 eucalyptus were planted just around Coimbra in an effort to control the devastating erosion. But the truth of the matter is that in many parts of Portugal, eucalyptus already grows wild, and now the exotic blue gum is the most abundant tree in Portugal. Can you believe this? Covering about 7% of the land. Just the other day, the Portuguese president, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, was filmed planting oak trees and uprooting small eucalyptus trees. This is a great example. And this year, on the 23rd of November, the International Native Tree Day is being commemorated. So why not use it to plant a native tree, such as the caramel tree, common elder, home oak, Kermes oak, Portuguese oak, Pyrenean oak, English oak, sweet chestnut tree, marine pine, stone pine, alder brook or thorn, just to say a few. Because, believe me, the Australian friends in Portugal have overstayed their welcome. So, on this note, I bring you to today's meal. Bacalhau chickpea salad, or salada de bacalhau com grão de bico. This is a delicious Portuguese-style salad recipe. It is really light and healthy dish that brings out the flavor of the bacalhau perfectly with a combination of chickpeas, parsley and olives. This is one of my favorite bacalhau recipes, and it is very simple and easy to make without much fuss. If you buy salted cod, don't forget, prepare the fish by soaking in a large pan of cold water for 2 to 3 days and let it sit in the refrigerator, changing the water twice a day. Don't forget this. Taste a small piece of the cod after 2 days for saltiness. The cod should taste like fish and still be a little salty. If it is, let it soak for another day if needed. Poach cod in water for about 8 to 10 minutes, depending on the portion. It should be flaky, but not too mushy. Strain and let the cod cool before making the salad. In the meantime, Boil chickpeas in its water for about 30 minutes. Drain when done. Prepare a salad. Mix all the codfish, chickpeas, olives, chopped onion, chopped parsley. Leave the eggs for last in a small bowl and toss gently. Add the eggs and drizzle with more olive oil to your desired taste. Well, I hope you really enjoy this meal, and don't forget about my native trees. This is something very important for all of us. Have a great day and see you soon.